Is it working? Okay, hi guys, and welcome back to some more Kerbal space program. I pretty much went ahead and did the mission of doing observational surveys over Kerbin on my own right over here, and now Jebediah is going to go ahead and impress us with his excellent flying and landing skills right here over the deserts. These are highlands. God damn it, I missed the mountains again. Well, anyway, yeah, as we wait for the journeys to Duna and to Joel to finish, and as we wait for more planets to be aligned so we can send more probes, which will take a reasonable amount of time. We are going to speed up through them. Obviously, I'm not going to spend another 87 days just doing random missions like these ones because I would lose my mind pretty much. But we are, going to do some of them, just to maybe accumulate a little bit of money, maybe to get a little bit of extra prestige and things like that. But yeah, let us prepare for a landing over here. We are over the desert, so that's pretty good. That means that that's some new science over there, and we'll try our best to cut our engines and land over here. And yeah, it's gonna be this episode and possibly many episodes to come are going to be very much more edited and cut it to parts because I don't want to repeat all these basic procedures that I've done so many times and that we can all see they work. Sometimes they do fail. We see some spectacular accidents happen, but for the most part, they happen without you know without even a bit of problem. So we're just going to go ahead and pass through that. Whoa, that's a bit more of an abrupt landing that you'd want to go for. If I check my altimeter, we are less than 1,000 meters, so the altitude is the ground is 700 above sea level. We can see our shadow over there, so you can use that to guide us and also activate our lights. There you go. That allows us to see the ground better as we come closer. We are coming up against a hill, so that's always a little bit problematic, but with Jebediah on board and with the excellent technology that we now have available, I am not afraid. Though I walk in the valley of death, how is that one? I fear no evil. I need a little bit of thrust there just to get my nose slightly upwards. Yes, alright, and touchdown! Alright. A little bit of a rougher touchdown, and we done it! Hey, that was pretty good. And it's bouncing again because, hey, plane just can't stop dancing, gathering precise acceleration data while subjecting this vessel to this situation. Well, it's nothing too impressive. I don't think it's actually precise because the plane is just wobbling around. But anyway, we did that. Let's return, and everyone is alive and well. Not new experience, but there you go. Another successful mission, and we got a lot of money from it. In the meanwhile, I also sent Valentina to do a touristical mission right over here, and she's already done it. As you can see, we just need to bring it back. So we just need a little bit of burn over here just to bring the periapsis down, something along those lines, and then we need to get back, activate the radiator. And yeah, this is like the old model ship, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they withstand re-entry and all that. Alright, and now we are in Orient retrograde, and yeah, and then we're gonna do a mission to the moon. We have like multiple tasks to do over to the moon, you know, plant a flag, recover scientific data, and I have also accepted the contract to recover module H05PM, which I have no idea what it is. Nobody knows. It's like a question mark over here in and it's moon's orbit, so we will need to do another like rendezvous maneuver. We're not gonna do it like this episode, but I will try it and see how that works out. I am curious to see what it is, but you know, not like dead curious or anything like that. Should be able to get this one over here pretty easily, and we don't have as high of a speed as we usually do when we come back from the moon or Minmus, or God forbid when we'll be coming back from Duna. You know, we're gonna be coming back from like an interplanetary space, so usually come back with quite a speed relative to Kerbin that you don't usually have enough fuel in the engines left to slow yourselves down, so you do have to aero brake and use the atmosphere to slow yourselves down, and that's, you know, the most precarious part. All right, we are getting lower and lower. Should have no problem doing this. There you go, finally seeing the effects of overheating at like 5,000 and just barely so, just to show you that how much of a difference, you know, low speed can make. So, you know, the ideal way to come back from like any missions, regardless if it's from the moon or Minmus, is to just go, you know, get close, get captured into an orbit, then lower your orbit around Kerbin until it's something like this, and then, you know, perform the re-entry, so you have like the least amount of speed and, you know, re-entry problems as possible. Either way, we should be relatively easy, and we're gonna complete this mission as well. We still have the mission to like uh, build a new orbital station. I can't keep the time acceleration too high up because I'm afraid the ship will flip over. And this is in memory of Bob the Kerman, the Super Kerbal. It's still there, dude. Alright. Does take a lot longer to slow yourself down with just the atmosphere. I'm gonna have to point that out in case you haven't noticed yet. It's it's a much more lengthy process that you have to go through. But yeah, it's happening. Right. Either way, it should be going pretty much without any hitch, so we should be done with that, and then we'll do the moon mission. We'll just do another like basic moon landing and coming back, and we'll do it like to a new biome, so we get some new science, especially with the new, you know, accelerometer. But it's not gonna be anything new from like a maneuver standpoint, so I'm just going to showcase like the landing and the coming back and just tell you all that everything went fine and groovy. Oh my god, it's taking so long, but we are getting in like thicker and thicker atmosphere, so, you know, the air resistance is becoming a lot stronger as we are getting below, like, especially below 3000. That's, you know, very strong, and kind of like the aerodynamic effects become a thing. So let's use the engine to slow ourselves down a little bit faster. I would have hoped that we landed in like a more lit up side, but by this point that's not an expectation from my part. I'm sorry. I hope that I'll be able to do it on Duna at least. I wouldn't want to, like, you know, fucking land on the dark side of Duna and have no idea where I'm landing, and, you know. Duna is a little bit challenging to land on because Well, it's technically not as challenging, but the thing is that you can use parachutes because it does have an atmosphere, but its atmosphere is not thick enough to allow for a complete like parachute descent. I saw the ship that was moving away, and we are out of fuel, so that means that the ship will just tumble about. We don't have enough strength to like keep it pointed the right way, but we are below 1,000 meters per second by now, and that means that the re-entry hitting is no longer that powerful, so we are just going to go on our final approach, and we can see Minmus from over here yet again. Lovely view everywhere. Alright, let's detach. We don't need this. Activate the parachutes. And yeah, just go down. Flying over Kirby. Now I'd be interested to see like where the hell am I? Water. Well, you know, once again, nothing too spectacular, but we did it regardless. And yeah, hope the crew cabin and not the crew, like the tourist crew cabin, is like strong enough to withstand the impact with the water. You know, it's gonna go down quite fast. Technically, it's better than, you know, splashing onto terrain because, you know, it's water. I mean, I'd rather fall on 9 meters per second over water than over, you know, concrete, but that's just me. And sploosh. Alright, we did it. Recover vessel, and yeah, let's go on ahead and go for another run on the moon. Yeah, all things completed. I am very happy for you. Any new missions over here that would be particularly interesting? Flight above, on the surface. Thumper on the launch side, that's pretty much, you know, free money, so we're gonna do that, and I'm not going to even bother you with like, you know, we already have the thumper, the back thumper, that's like the first long solid fuel booster, so I'm just gonna do it off camera. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the moon. Alright, I did say that I was only going to show the landing, but there is something, you know, a little bit interesting that I want to show while while we were preparing to land on a new place on the moon. I've noticed this thing. So, you know, we have right now we have a signal because of the relay. We have a bounce signal from the relay from this satellite, which is like much further away, and the reason why we have that is because right now we don't have a signal towards Kerbin. It's you know, it's blocked by the moon. Kerbin is like on the other side from the moon, and instead we have connection through Kerbin from these satellites. So that's just a demonstration to show you that you know, our satellites are up and running and operational from all points of view, basically. And hey, Jebediah Advanced Pilot can orient itself on the maneuver node. That's also a new thing. But yeah, that was a fancy thing that I want to show. Anyway, see you guys on the ground. And without much difficulty, Jebediah Kerman is approaching his final part of the landing upon a new place on the surface of the moon, which seems to look like a twin crater. That is definitely something new and haven't been seen before. Does seem that, as always, we have a very bad luck of finding our landing place, and we seem to land on a slight slope in between two smaller craters, but without much more problems, we should be able to land just smooth enough to not cause any tumbling of the ship at the last moment. And so we are approaching it very carefully and very gently, as gentle as gentleness can allow in these sort of situations. We can see its shadows approaching at 3 meters per second, extremely slow. And we should have touchdown. Yes. And it's stable. Alright. Yoo-hoo! Everyone congratulates, and once again the Space Center erupts in a multitude of applauses as Jebediah Kerman manages once again to perform another spectacular landing on the surface of the moon and collects invaluable scientific data from all the modules that it has available. Huh. Interesting indeed, that and temperature data and pressure data, even though there is no pressure because we are on the moon, and it seems that we are on the moon's far side crater. That seems to be what it's called. And finally, but last but not least, the accelerometer, which has detected a small quake in the surface, and we can also toggle its display, and for the first time we have accurate measurements of the gravitational acceleration on the moon, which is 0.163 Gs, and that compared to Kerbin's, I think it's like 1/6 of it. If I multiply this by 6, it's almost the gravity of Kerbin, so there it is. Now Jebediah, the quick save, he's gonna gently pop out of the ship and hopefully not tumble it. Okay, well, he took a tumble. Now the ship is spinning around a little bit, but Jebediah is confident that it will not tumble, not while he is away. Indeed, the situation is still nominal. It's gonna take a surface of sample. Large concentration of melted byproducts here appears to be formed by intense pressure and heat, which, you know, further proves the theory that this has been an impact crater from a meteor. Oh, that doesn't look good. No! Ah! It happens every time, dude. Alright, well then, I'll be back when I manage to actually take off from this place. Alright, so without much further ado, we managed to get back on the ship, and now we should be able to just go up and burn ourselves back to Kerbin. So, yeah. With a quick save, we burn and we go to the 90 degrees point. Full throttle ahead. We have a long way to go and a long way to burn. We need to get into orbit, then we need to burn retrograde. Once again, we are in a very limited fuel situation. It seems that every time I do have this issue, so I think it is high time that we discuss about the possibility of improving our mooncraft. You know, it has done its job many times until now. Nobody argues against that, but it seems that every time it does it, it's you know, getting ever so slightly closer to just not able to do it. Alright, and we go high up, and with that should be able to burn ourselves back. 153. I think that normally is enough. We need a 500 meters per second to orbit the moon. Gonna wait a little bit, get closer to the apoapsis, and then burn again. Do it as efficiently as possible, and then we need like 300 delta V to escape the moon and get to Kerbin, something along those lines. Alright, we did it. And then from over here, all we need to do is to burn prograde, and that should get us, you know, just as little as that. As I said, about 300 meters per second is all it takes to get us there. And yeah, should be good to go. So, I'm going to go ahead and see you guys when we land. And just like that, we are once again preparing for another landing on Kerbin. Again, on the dark side of Kerbin because we are just completely unable to go on any other side. And yep, things are heating up. So let us use our engine and burn the rest of the fuel that we have in a desperate attempt to keep the heating under control and also slow ourselves down so we don't have such an abrupt entrance into the atmosphere. But all things considered, it should be fine. And hey, you know, every time I panic that I don't have enough fuel, but every time I am able to get back and even have enough to, like, you know, do a power descent pretty much, you know, just like burn it to slow myself down in the atmosphere. Oh, this is a problem. Oh no, it's just the camera that switched. Oh god. For a second I thought that, you know, the ship flipped over, you know how it does from time to time. It can still do that. It still has a very high speed that it hasn't, like, burned yet, you know, and if it does flip over at this speed, it can risk losing, you know, a bunch of shit. The radiator is turned on and it's doing its job as best as it can. You know, obviously using a heat shield instead of the engine would be better, but at the same time, it is not safe to decouple the engine in this particular position. So we are, you know, whether you will like it to or not, we just have to deal with it and land this bad boy as it is. But we are getting down below 2,000 meters, and that's usually like the first safe zone, speed safe zone, call it like that. And then there is like the less than 1,000 meters, at which point, you know, there's no longer any risk of suffering damage from re-entry. So yeah, another successful mission, not without its hiatus. As you have seen, you know, the ship tumbled over there. It just happens every time, but that's what we have quick saves for. And yeah, that's a lot of money and science that we have accumulated, and it will allow us to, well, you know, the money to be able to send more probes into orbit, which I'm also going to do off camera, because we have seen how the probes work and there's nothing new to be done to them. We just need to send them up there and put them into orbit and have them wait until the planets are aligned. And the science will allow us to discover new things that will make our future ship designs hopefully better. There's also the debate about upgrading some new buildings. We do want to upgrade the research and development lab. Oh, we have tumble over, but the speed is no longer a main concern at this point. Here's a good question though. Do you detach this final you know, bit with the engine and the fuel tank so your ship is lighter but has like little you know, things that can support the impact, or do you keep them, you know? And you know, I'm actually going to quick save in order to experiment that. The thing is that if we keep them, the ship will be heavier, obviously, with the engine and uh, photovoltaic panels and landing struts and fuel tanks. Even empty, they're still heavy. But, you know, it will have to splash down on this and then this and this, and maybe it will absorb more damage until like the Science Junior. But if we don't keep it, the ship will be lighter and it will have like smaller speed going down. But we risk going into the other issue, which is, you know, just the problems of not having enough things to slow down our impact. So for this attempt, we are going to detach. Usually I keep it because, You know, I have a little bit of extra fuel left in it that I can use to. That was quite a splash. I have a little bit of extra fuel in it that I can use to like slow down at the last moment, but this time I have used every last bit of it, so we're gonna have to go for a old-fashioned non-fueled splashdown. 7 meters per second. It's less. It's less than 7 meters per second if we get the right wind. And we did it! Another wonderful, successful mission. Jebediah Kerman coming back with new revelations from the moon. A lot of extra science. No more, not new XP, but still. So, oh my god, we still don't have enough to upgrade that. That's just how ridiculously expensive it is. So, yeah. We can get, I mean, we do need to get, like, unmanned tech in order to unlock ion propulsion at some point, and also field science in order to unlock advanced science tech. So those will be the things that I will be looking for to grab. I'm going to grab unmanned tech first. It gives us some better probes, which we might consider replacing our current one, and with the little bit we have left, I'm also going to grab precision propulsion, so we have completely completed everything up until like this line. But yeah, in order to get to these lines, we do need to upgrade our research and development lab, and that's very expensive, as you might have noticed. So this one wants to land on Midmus, another one to grab scientific data from the moon. We just been there. Oh, space around the moon. It's even easier. Equatorial orbit around Kerbal, that should be pretty easy to do. Suborbital trajectory, 4 tourists. Well, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed watching this more mission-oriented episode. Yeah, I'll see you next time. I don't know, I guess I'll be, you know, doing these sort of errands on my own, and when I'll see you guys next time, I'll be either recovering this module to see what the hell it is about, or when I'll be close to getting to Duna, or to, you know, launch other probes to other planets. Anyway, see you guys next time. We're going to make. Bye bye.